Well, hello everyone and welcome to the Ultimate Health Summit. I'm Karen and with my co-host Selma. We're happy to have natural beauty expert Erica Jones with us today. If you've been disillusioned with your current beauty regime and you're not getting the results, or you want to have radiant, youthful looking skin as you age, and you want to do it using natural and organic beauty solutions, today's guest has many practical tips that you can use right away for some life-changing results. So let me tell you a little bit about today's fabulous guest. Erica Jones is a holistic health advocate and natural and organic beauty expert. She teaches women how to use the power of natural beauty solutions so they can be confident and feel sexy without ever compromising their health. She's the creator of Elevase.com and TrueBeautyYou.com and is the co-founder of Elevase Health, a virtual health consultancy serving executives and entrepreneurs all over the world. She holds a bachelor's in biology from the University of Tennessee and a master's in health science from the University of Central Florida. Welcome to the Ultimate Health Summit, Erica Jones.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
Oh, we're just so delighted ourselves. We're just counting the days here. So, I mean, you look beautiful, Erica. I don't know, beautiful is the right word. We can say so many other superlatives, but you say your skin today is the result of years of research and diligence and tweaking to find out what really is the secret sauce for getting that gorgeous glowing skin that every woman desires. But you also struggled in the beginning in your own skincare journey. So take us back to those struggles, and what was your catalyst in, trying to get the skin you've always dreamed of? Because I think at one time you called yourself the forest of acne that covered. I mean, I've never heard that before. So just talk to us about this little journey that you have been on.
Absolutely. I think my skin challenges for me started during puberty when they start for a lot of people. I have naturally oily skin, so I dealt a lot with oil slicks and too much oil, and my diet was not optimal at that time in my life. And so I had a lot of acne as a result of it. And so I will never remember the day I come home from cheerleading practice, and I came home into the kitchen and my mom was there and she was rummaging through the pantry, and me and my sister had eaten through a bunch of cookies in there. And she just looked at me and she says, "Erica, you'd be such a pretty girl if you would just stop eating all the sugar and you would stop having all this acne and breakouts." And it was just like a dagger to my heart as a child, a young adolescent. As a young girl, you're dealing with so much pressure from the culture, how you look, you're coming into your own as a woman. And then to hear that from your own mom, it really hurt me to the core. And so I just kind of took on this mentality that I would never have beautiful skin. I was always going to look, like I had acne all the time. It was embarrassing for me. I would pick up the magazines in the beauty stores. I'm like, these models have beautiful skin. I will never have that. So that was through most of my adolescence. I was eating more of a conventional diet, and my parents did their best. They just didn't know any better back then. And up through my 20s, I got a job in corporate America after getting my bachelor's in biology. And at that point, you think to yourself, okay, you're out of puberty, you're done with all of that, surely your hormones will balance out and you're not going to be dealing with this acne for forever. But then I go out into the workforce and I'm walking into doctors' offices and I'm telling them about the products that I'm offering. I used to work for a pharmaceutical company. That's a whole other backstory. But then I'm dealing with all of this acne on my face. So it just really punctured my confidence at that time, my self-esteem. When I looked in the mirror, I just didn't feel that great about myself because I would see the blemishes instead of who I really am at the core, that clear skin, a beautiful, confident woman. I wasn't seeing that. So fast forward a few years later, I met Dr. Isaac Jones. A lot of people know him. He runs a podcast called Superhuman Entrepreneur. We started dating, fell in love. He was into holistic health at that time and brought me over into that kind of lifestyle. And so gradually I started to change things from my diet to my nutrition to, what I was doing to relax and relieve stress in the day. And through those little steps, I was noticing, hey, my skin is starting to look a lot better. It's improving. So I started to keep doing more of that. I started to research more and get into what was actually in the products that I was using. When I found that out, I made some changes. And I would say that over time, baby step by baby step, I was able to put the pieces together to come up with a regimen that's really worked for my skin and for the many clients that I serve. And I want to share a lot of that with you today on this call.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Ready.
You know, in this culture, you had alluded to this earlier in your adolescent years, but in this Western culture, we're constantly bombarded with messages about the way we look. Are we not? I don't even buy those magazines anymore because, yeah, whatever. Cosmetics is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and company after company marketing this product, that product. We're going to DH, clear, tighten, all these.
Yes.
So
Do it all.
what do you think the missing link to radiant skin is that the beauty companies will never tell us about?
I think that the core of it really is that, first of all, that you have to have a holistic approach. So I'll often have people, especially women, that, you know, they find out I do skincare and beauty, and they'll ask me, well, what's the number one product that I need? Or what's the number one thing that I can be doing every day for my skin? And there's definitely strategies that you can use. I'm going to share some of those for sure today. But the thing that's most important to understand is that when it comes to your skin, your radiance from the inside out, it comes from a holistic approach. So we're talking about, you know, nutrition. We're talking about how are you relieving stress during the day? Are you exercising? Everything that this summit is about, you know, we're talking about ultimate health in your life. If you really want to have that kind of radiance, you've got to really access that from different avenues in your life and not just the products that you're putting on your skin.
Exactly. Exactly. Wow.
So when you, So when you talk about nutrition, look, let's just deal with that. Are we looking at, you know, kind of vegetarian? Are we looking at low carbs? Are we looking at value? What do you think?
I think there's different nutrition strategies that can work for different people. So a lot of people do well on a Paleolithic type of diet. I'm sure you've heard now the ketogenic diet is really trending up now. A lot of people are getting great results with that. So I'm not a big proponent of, you know, everyone needs to do a certain kind of nutrition strategy, because I feel like everyone's different, and what may work for one doesn't necessarily work the same as another. One thing that I found, though, across the board is that when we are good to our digestive system, that has a direct correlation to the way that our skin looks. So particularly I'm talking about the skin on the forehead and in the chin region. So oftentimes women will come to me, they'll have, you know, breakouts in those areas. And the first thing that I'm asking them is, okay, what's your diet? What's your nutrition like? Because oftentimes when we're talking about blemishes that come up on the skin, it's giving us a view into the body and what other areas, what other organs or systems are kind of having some disruption that need some support. It shows up on the skin.
Oh.
So yes, exactly. So characteristically, forehead breakouts, chin breakouts, those are typically digestive. And usually those are the most common areas for acne. So that's why I say it's so important to make sure that your digestive system is supported as much as possible through your nutrition so that you can really radiate through your skin.
That's
So
very
would be
interesting. But you know, I
probiotics
guess
be a
we all
big part of
think,
that?
so many people think that we're all separate. We're the head, we're skin, we're the organs, and
Right.
it's all of it separate, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think we've got to start looking at the fact that we're all like one thing affects the other. All three,
Absolutely.
you know, plus your spirit and your soul and all of that, it's all interconnected and we can't separate them, right? That's really the message.
100%. Yeah, that is the core message, because if you try to come at it with a mechanistic approach, you're missing so many clues, so many pieces to the whole that can really get you to where you're trying to go faster. That's a lot of what we practice in our health consultancy. It's all about looking at the whole. So when we're talking about skin, we're not just talking about skin, we're talking about the entire body.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So you were talking about the gut here. So are we looking at maybe probiotics? Is that a strong element there that we should be using?
Absolutely. Yeah. So probiotics, any of the healthy bacteria, fermented foods are great for the gut. Healthy fats. So you're talking about your good omega-3s. Avocado is one of my favorite foods, good mono unsaturated fats, flaxseed, even gelatin. So for women that are trying to fill in, wrinkles and fine lines, I like to use gelatin because of the collagen content in there. That helps to fill in those areas of the skin. So I use a protein powder. It's a gelatin protein powder. I think it's called Vital Protein or something like that. It's great. It's from grass-fed cows, so the fatty acid profile is wonderful. And I add that to shakes and smoothies. So it's just another way to support the skin, but also the gut as well. And then the other thing is just staying away from the foods that we know are damaging to the digestive system. So that's processed foods. For a lot of people, that's gluten, which is really hard on the digestive system. Anything that's deep fried, these things really make it tough for your body to just process food optimally, and then it can show up as blemishes on the skin, because your skin's also a detox organ as well, and your body can use that to kind of get rid of impurities, and then it comes up as a blemish, and you don't want that either.
Mm-hmm.
When you said gelatin, I was saying Jello. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. This gelatin's a little bit higher quality than that, but it's the same kind of concept.
So Erica, what about supplements? Okay, so we've got diet, and you've mentioned a few things. So what about supplements? Because let's face it, not everybody, gets everything through their own diet. Is there something that you can recommend?
Sure. I take a regular multivitamin. I use a supplement called Lifelong Vitality Pack. It's by a company called doTERRA. They make essential oils. Their Lifelong Vitality Pack is awesome because it's infused with essential oils. Now I can go off about essential oils and their power, their antioxidant components, how versatile they are for the body and for beauty as well. But that's the multivitamin that I take. It comes with a micronutrient. It comes with a cellular detoxifier, which helps with anti-aging and detoxing at the cellular level, as well as a fatty acid complex. So you're kind of hitting from all angles with that pack there. But regardless of what kind of supplement you use, you can use that brand, you can use any brand. You just want to make sure that it's high quality supplements. So I don't recommend people go into like a GNC store or something like that. You really want to do your research and make sure that what you're using is very high quality when we're talking about supplementation.
It was interesting because I was on an amazing supplement from a company in Arizona. And all of a sudden, Health Canada said, no, can't come into Canada anymore. And so I couldn't get it anymore. And so now you're kind of limited to what's either at the drugstore or in the health food store. And it's really difficult to get these high quality supplements into Canada. And so that's always a big challenge, And so
having lived there for 2.5 years, I can relate to to the custom trying to ship things in. I remember that.
Right. Yeah. And I was also on Goji forever, Himalayan Goji juice. And then, of course, Health Canada says, well, gee, that's keeping people a little too healthy. Let's do something about that. And let's just do a great expose on how people are getting scammed and things. And I thought, oh, my gosh, if only they knew the benefits. But they did. And, of course, that's taking away from I hate to say it, the pharmaceuticals.
I used to work for a pharmaceutical company, so I know it's the bottom line is the money.
Right. And people are just, statistics and, cash in their pocket if they're not healthy, right? So anyway, so that's a challenge, in other countries getting these supplements that we know are really good. But we do the best we can and use food, I guess. Food is our...
Erica, is it the reason you became passionate, really passionate and compassionate about natural organic beauty, because you realize that, like toxins, some of these big, like beauty companies and everything else, the toxicity of their cosmetics and personal care products are just like incredible. And a lot of times there is minimal testing that's being done.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That was one of the big eye-openers for me was when I made this transition to a healthier lifestyle after I met my husband, I was like, okay, I'm eating clean now. I'm exercising now. I've reduced stress out of my life now. And he handed me a book. I recommend every woman read this book. It's called Toxic Beauty by Dr. Samuel Epstein. He's a cancer researcher. He's founded a foundation called the Cancer Coalition, but he does a lot of work in terms of trying to protect women from the toxins, women, men, children, everybody, from the toxins in personal care products. So I read that book, and the big eye-opener for me was that I thought that here we have, the FDA that is supposed to protect and regulate what's being brought to market. I thought that they were protecting us by what's being put into these products. And the deeper and deeper I read, and the more that I kind of dug into it all, I realized that there's toxins, parabens, hormone disruptors, carcinogens, allergens, things that upregulate inflammation in the body, all kinds of synthetics in these products that we're using every single day. None of them are tested for their synergistic effects for each other, against each other. And then none of them are tested for what they actually do in the human body. So when I read this, I was really stunned by it. And the thing that really got to me the most was that there was a study that was done years ago called The Body Burden. You can look it up online. It was done by the government, I believe the CDC, but it was a huge study studying women and the umbilical cord blood from after they've had babies. And what they found was on average, more than 200 toxins in this umbilical cord blood. So that these babies those most fragile of human beings. And so when I found this out, I said to myself, okay, I know that I want to have kids down the road. And so if I'm going to do everything that I can to protect myself and my children, I've got to make some decisions right now about the products that I'm using. So just going into Whole Foods or the health food store and picking up whatever's marketed as natural, that's just not going to cut it anymore. So I had to do a lot of research. I used Environmental Working Group. That's a wonderful website where you can look up different skincare products. You can look up different ingredients and find out, it gives them a rank between 1 and 10, how safe they are or how toxic they are. So that was a huge help to me. They also just put out great content online, just to educate people about this. So I used that, and then eventually I found some great beauty brands like Anne Marie Gianni. She's a wonderful organic and wild crafted line that's available now. SW Basics, another one that's actually available in Target of all places and online now. So there's just more and more companies that are coming out. Dr. Trevor Cates has a fantastic line that's really clean. But yes, that fueled a lot of my passion. Was one, thinking about my future children. And then the other thing that fuels my passion is my desire to see that women are educated and aware of what they're putting on their skin. Because it's one thing to know and then make it, say, okay, well, I'm just going to make this choice anyway. But it's another thing not to know at all. And I've lost too many people in my life to cancer, to all kinds of disease. Friends, one of my closest friends just died March from cancer. And I asked myself, if she had known years ago about this, not using the aluminum deodorants, not using the different synthetics, would it have made a difference? And I don't know the answer to that, but that's always going to be a question. Of
course.
Yeah. And that's what fuels a lot of what I do, is because I want women to at least be empowered to make the choice to choose something better instead of just, well, I didn't even know this was in my products,
I had a friend just recently too. She came up with this rash all over her body. I mean, she's a gorgeous woman, all over, just out of the blue, and nobody could find out for over a year and a half. Stuck her on antibiotics, and do you know what it was? It was one of those, I can't even pronounce it, it's this long, that's in absolutely every detergent, dishwashing soap, hand soap, everything. That they finally...
It was probably sodium lauryl sulfate.
Yeah, that one.
It was that one.
And so, I mean, once she finally found out, she had all the allergy tests, all those things. It took a long time. Now she knows, and now she can heal, right? Stay away from those things.
Absolutely.
It's a tough road to follow because It's in everything. So you change your whole,
Yeah.
your laundry detergent. So I was helping her by
Mhm.
sourcing up, laundry products that are safe, things like
Mhm.
hand soaps.
Yeah, and the other thing I want listeners to know too is that because some people may listen to this and they're like, oh my gosh, I have to overhaul my entire life now. And I just want to say that it's a process. It's not something that you just do overnight. Like I didn't do it that way. I don't teach people to do it that way because that's the fastest way to getting overwhelmed and just
Yes.
kind of crashing and burning with it all. So you have to just do things step by step. That's the way to get that sustainable, lasting change so that it really becomes a lifestyle thing and not just something that's like, super overwhelming that you pick up 1 minute and then you just lay it down because it's like, it's just too much. So baby steps is the way to go.
So what are the baby steps you're recommending for somebody just starting out and saying, okay, whoa, I got the message here. Where should they start?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll share with you kind of the 4 foundational secrets
Okay.
for radiant skin. So the first one is that hydration is the absolute foundation. So when I say hydration, I'm talking about from the inside out.
Yeah.
So our bodies are mostly made of water. So everyone should be drinking at least half their body weight in ounces of water per day. And if you're a coffee drinker or you like sodas or whatever, those things dehydrate the body. So there's ways to make coffee that's healthier. My husband likes to make kind of like a play on David Asprey's bulletproof coffee. He does that every now and then. But I tell him if for every cup you drink, that's like -1 cup of water. So you've gotta replenish with that water. So half your body weight in ounces of water per day. So that's the key, first of all, to make the radiance come from within. So you're talking about skin hydration. As we age, our skin loses a little bit of elasticity. It loses its ability to retain moisture, and that's where the fine lines, the wrinkles, all of those things play a role that kind of get exacerbated with dry skin. So the more that you can hydrate and protect the moisture, the better your skin's going to look, the more radiant it's going to be. So that's the first thing, is to hydrate. I also like to add a drop of lemon essential oil to my water throughout the day. You see me carrying this big, huge, huge bottle. It's a stainless steel canteen because I don't want to be filling up cup after cup. So I just carry it around with me. I know if I drink about 1.5 of these, I've done how much water I need for the day. So that's what I recommend people do. So, and then the lemon essential oil.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Erica, is there a type of water that we should be looking at? Filtered, alkaline? Or what do you recommend?
Well, we drink alkaline water just because just through the day, your body can get acidic from exposure to toxins in the environment, things like that. So we drink alkaline water, but we have an alkaline machine. So I don't want that to be a deterrent for anyone that's like, I don't have an alkaline machine. Just drink the water. If you can get it pure or filtered, that's going to be better than just drinking, fluoridated tap water or something like that. But at the end of the day, I don't want anybody to be bogged down with the type of water. Just get it in you. That's the most important thing.
Mm-hmm. And would you need essential oil, or can you just squeeze a lemon?
Squeeze a lemon right in there. Yeah. That also alkalizes the water. Yeah. So if you're trying to get that alkaline effect, squeeze the lemon into the water. It also helps to gently detox the body too.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. Hydration is the foundation. The second thing is that less is more. So I can't tell you how many times I'll talk to women and I'm like, okay, tell me about your skincare regimen. And they run me down like all these steps and products that they're using. And it's just like, who has time for that? So the best thing to do is to simplify your regimen. Number one, most people's skin will thrive with just 3 basic steps each day. That's cleansing, that's using a toner, and that's using a moisturizer. Those 3 things, that's it. So when you're talking about doing a facial or something like that, you can get into masks, exfoliating, things like that. You can be doing that a few times a week, especially if you're older and wanting to turn over skin cells. So that's what I'm doing now, is using an exfoliator regularly. But the concept, the thing that we're sold so much from the different beauty counters is, here's this, 7-step process for getting your skin to look beautiful. And you're like, first of all, who has time for 7 steps? And then secondly, your skin does not need that much. And when you're talking about the conventional types of products, you're just adding more synthetics, more toxins in there to be applied to the skin, and you just don't want that. Simplified is the best way to go.
Okay.
So that's the second thing,
Yeah.
is less than more. Less is more. And then the third is something that we talked about earlier. We touched on this, and that's to just give your gut love. So we talked about the digestive system, how it's tied to skin, not just acne and blemishes and breakouts, but even, now more than ever, I'm seeing people with eczema and rashes and things like that. A lot of that is tied directly back to your digestion. And what we now are realizing is that the digestive system is like a brain in and of itself. It controls and regulates so much of the body, from hormones to your immune system function, even how your body reacts to different foods and food sensitivities. So as much as you can love on your gut, getting good fats, healthy probiotics, staying away from processed foods, as much as you can do that, the more your skin is going to really radiate. So that's another step as well. And then the fourth thing is to use oils. And I say all kinds of oils. So essential oils, and even oils that come from nuts and trees, like jojoba oil, almond oil, and coconut oil. Those are three of my absolute favorites. And me being an acne-prone person with oily skin, I was really afraid to put oil on my face at first, because I was always told as a child, you don't do that, that's going to create acne. You've heard that probably, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
So the industry has taken a turn now. And so now what you'll see, especially in a lot of the natural and organic formulations, is that they're using oils more in the formulations to help, one, to hydrate and moisturize the skin, but also for me, it helped to balance the pH of my skin, so that my skin is not as oily as it used to be. It's actually more regulated now, which helps to decrease the breakouts and things like that. So the number one facial oil I'd recommend is jojoba oil. It looks like jojoba oil. If you write it down, it's pronounced jojoba. That's a great one. And I just like to massage that into my skin. It's perfect for taking off makeup instead of using a dehydrating makeup remover that has all these chemicals and whatnot. You can just use an oil all over your skin. It works like a dream.
Okay.
And then you just follow that up. Yes, it's awesome. You follow that up with a regular cleanser just to remove the oil residue, and your makeup is gone. I guarantee you, just try that next time you're taking off your makeup. You're going to love it.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't wear a lot of makeup anyway,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm good. I'm good.
So you're all good there.
And you know what? As far as a cleanser goes, I just use water.
Oh, well, hey, if it works.
I never
for your
ever
skin,
use
go for it.
soap on my skin, ever. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so for some of us in the older generation, of course, not talking about Karen and ourselves here.
Guess the age.
What
guess
are
the
some
age, no, we don't.
anti-aging tricks that we can do every day that might help us a bit there?
Yeah. Well, I love what Karen said about that you don't use soap on your face. I think it's really important to listen to what your skin and what your body want the most, because I've heard, you need to cleanse twice a day or do, this or that. And a really important thing is to listen to how your body is responding. Look at how your skin is responding to what you're doing. So I'll say that before I say anything. But one of the best tricks that I like to share with women is to use essential oils in your beauty regimen. This has been a game changer for me with my skin. And the number one anti-aging essential oil is frankincense. I'm sure you've heard of frankincense before, right?
Yes.
Yes. So frankincense is powerful because it helps to regenerate at the cellular level, regenerate cells. So this is why people have touted it for its health benefits. This is why it's good for anti-aging, because it helps with skin cell regeneration. The more you can turn over those skin cells so that they're fresh and renewed, the more radiant and youthful the skin looks. So you can use it in your moisturizer. I will add a drop to my moisturizer. So I'm putting my moisturizer in my hand. I add the drop of frankincense, and then I just put my moisturizer on my face.
Oh, I love that.
Yes, actually might have some right here. My husband keeps essential oils on his desk. So, or you can just take the top off the bottle and hold the bottle flush to your hand and apply as a spot treatment to your eyes if there's fine lines around your mouth, so fine lines and things like that. So that's the number one anti-aging essential oil. It also helps to fade age spots as well. It's just one I use it every single day.
I have a blend, but it has more than frankincense in it. And so it's probably a good idea just to buy frankincense on its own, right?
Yeah, because you're going to get the potency of what that oil can do in that moisturizer. So that's a really good one. Patchouli is also a great essential oil because it acts as a mini facelift. So what I like about patchouli is that it helps to reduce the appearance of pores. And for me, with more oily skin, I kind of am constantly battling that. So after I cleanse my face and I'll use a toner, I will spray the toner onto a cotton ball, and then I'll just add a drop of patchouli right on that cotton ball.
Okay.
Wipe it over my face.
Okay.
And it helps to tighten the skin in a way that doesn't leave the skin feeling dry and stretched.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very natural way to do that. So that's another kind of secret there that you can use.
We love secrets, don't we?
Yeah, we keep them very well, yeah. But I guess the big thing, Erica, coming out of this too is the quality of the essential oils there too, right? So we have to really hunt for some, so the best that's out there, because we know there are some substandard. Sometimes you mix it with something and, it's the process and everything else there too. So I think we need to make sure that, we and it's just sometimes doing research, right? Trying to find the best quality.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's funny because even though essential oils are supposed to be 100% natural, that industry is very much like the beauty industry in that it's unregulated. So companies can put whatever they want in those bottles and call it essential oil, whether that's fragrance, which is synthetic, or they can, let's say frankincense is a premium oil, they can dilute that with a cheaper oil to save money. So it's really important to know the source of where you're getting your oils from. So I really, recommend for the listeners to do that. I use a company called doTERRA because I love how they source their oils, the purity and potency of their essential oils. But no matter what, brand you use, that's essential to make sure that they are pure.
Mm-hmm. My daughter and I used to have a company that made soaps and scrubs and things like that. And it was all done with essential oils, almond oil, jojoba oil, hemp oil, all those things.
Yes, I love that one.
So we had some very cool recipes that we would use, like brown sugar body rub and things like, everything was natural.
Yes.
But,
You're
it wasn't
speaking my language. I love that.
Yeah. So I've got all those recipes, and that we did really well, but it was just the two of us, and we just couldn't do enough of it to keep up with it. So we kind of had to fold that business. But yeah, at one point, even Bed Bath and Beyond wanted our stuff in their store. So that was
wow.
But I said, I can't do it. It's just like two of us, and we didn't have enough to get it going bigger. And so yeah, it was fun though. Especially because we would do these home parties with ladies, and they would try this stuff, and like instant how their hands were so soft and moisturized, unlike anything else they've ever used, right? So it was
yes. I'm actually glad you brought that up, because a lot of there's ways to make a lot of these, scrubs and body butters and things like that in a way that's natural, and you're not having to worry about what Bath and Body Works is putting.
Exactly. So yeah, it was fun. It was fun just to even try all these things, right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
So when we're talking about oils, let's just go back to the body. What about the fish oils? Do we need that as a supplement at all?
Yeah.
Again, making what you said here about the insides.
Yeah. I think most people will probably need a fish oil supplement. It just depends a lot on your diet and lifestyle. I mean, my husband and I, we eat really clean. We've been living this lifestyle for years, and I still am sure to take an omega-3 fish oil on a daily basis. And the reason for that is, one, because it helps to support and protect the gut. And the other thing is that it's harder to get that one from your diet nutritionally. So you can find it in like flaxseed and, freshwater, wild caught salmon. You can find it in, walnuts, things like that. But unless you're really diligent about how you're eating those foods and calculating how much you're getting, you can just kind of do away with the calculations and just take a high quality supplement daily and know that you're covered in terms of that. So that's what we do.
Well, and that's what I do too, because, I'm at the age, I won't tell you what age, but it's in the sixth decade. And of course, you start feeling the hip, you start feeling the knees, and you think, oh,
yeah,
I'm not getting older. But anyway, my mom, who's 88, said, Karen, just take fish oil, two capsules twice a day, and you know what? All that pain's gone. And I can just do all my gardening and everything else. And no hip replacement, no surgery, no nothing, just the fish oil. And that really helps with things as you're getting older.
Absolutely. It helps with inflammation, and as much as you feel that relief physically in those areas, it's doing so much on the inside of your body and other areas too. So that's what I'd like to tell people when they're supplementing, because sometimes you don't always feel the difference, but it's super important to make sure that you're getting the right amount of nutrients, the right profile of nutrients for your body every single day. So that's why I'm a proponent of supplementation for sure.
Yeah. Wow.
So you talked, we were talking about for women or something like that, but a lot of your clients must be also men, right? So things, the same things would apply to them, or are they something special that we maybe have to look at something else for their needs, or what?
Yeah, that's a big definition. Are they something special? Fill in the blanks. Yes, of course.
Yeah, I mean, my husband, he doesn't like to admit it, but he plays in my skincare stuff. My exfoliator is gone. Like, did you use it? I don't know. So, yeah, men care much more about their skin and appearance, and they want to let on. So I will say that for men, making sure that they exfoliate well is really good, especially when they're trying to shave and dealing with the shadow. So exfoliation is key for men, especially since their skin has more of just a different texture than a woman's skin. So exfoliation is important for women, but especially for men too. Isaac and I do a detoxifying mask probably twice a month together. It's a clay-based mask. And really what it does is it pulls out any impurities from the skin, anything that's going to be clogging the pores, causing breakouts or acne later on. We do that together regularly. Actually, I should have brought some pictures of him with the mask.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I love that.
That would be a good one, yeah.
He does that with me. We'll do facial steams together. So I think that men, need to really put some effort into taking care of their skin just as much as women do. So for men, it's going to be the same thing, really making sure to cleanse daily. That's important. And then the hydration. So as they age as well, their skin's a little bit different in terms of how it ages than women's, but the hydration factor is all the same. So they need to make sure that they're moisturizing. Facial oils are great, like jojoba oil for that. My husband's been using that. He loves the results that it gets. So those are two things that they can do. And then I also, like I was mentioning earlier, adding the gelatin. If you're a protein smoothie kind of person, we'll drink smoothies multiple days a week. I always have him add a scoop of gelatin to his smoothie because that collagen supports the gut and it helps to fill in the skin as well. So I make that recommendation too.
And so where do you get that gelatin protein? Where do you get that?
It's called Vital. I want to say it's Vital Protein.
Okay.
So that's one brand. I think I ordered it online. I know I ordered it online. I may have ordered it from Amazon. I don't remember, but it's Vital Protein. And if you can't find that one, another excellent brand is Great Lakes Gelatin. That one is available on Amazon. You get the unflavored version because some of them have like a beef broth kind of flavor.
Okay.
And if you're going to add, you don't want it tasting like beef stew.
Or how about when they start chasing you, right? Okay, what's this lady have here? This guy, yeah?
Exactly. So those are some things that men can do. And just overall, I'd say just the number one kind of mental shift that people need to make when it comes to skincare is I'll circle back to what we talked about earlier. And that's that there's really no magic bullet. There's no magic product. There's no magic trick. There's no magic strategy. You've really got to take a holistic approach with this. Combining nutrition, even stress plays a huge role. I mean, I know for me, for sure, if I'm too stressed out during a week, a blemish will come up. That's just how my body handles that. Mm-hmm. Stress plays a role. How much are you exercising? All of these different things really come together to create what we see in our skin, how we're feeling, how we're functioning in our bodies. So that's what I like to leave people with, and to leave the women with that I consult with as well, is get it out of your head that there's a magic bullet kind of product, because every beauty magazine we see says this is the product you need, this is the skincare system. It does not exist. It has to be a holistic approach if you want to do this naturally and in a way that lasts long term.
Mm-hmm. And that's sustainable and affordable.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Those beauty products are really expensive.
They're very expensive. Yeah. Totally.
Yes.
Yeah.
And sometimes we have to get off that notion there that sometimes something is more expensive than it's better. It is not necessarily the case.
That's 100% true. I mean, I can't tell you, I'll never forget, I was in college and the Mary Kay lady from my church, she's like, "Can I come over and do a facial for you?" And so I'm like, okay, I'll let her come over and do a facial. I didn't know about the Mary Kay business. So I let her come on facial. So she does this facial, and then at the end, she's selling me the product. So I buy this like $200 skincare system. I couldn't afford it. I was in college at the time. It went on a credit card. And I kid you not, ladies, I used it probably twice because it was like a 6 or 7 step thing. I didn't even have time for it back then. With 2 kids, there's no way I have time for it now. But I just shoved it under my sink, underneath the counter, and I just never used it again.
And they did a facial on me, and I broke out. And I thought,
oh, okay, so that's even worse. Yeah. So
I have this real quick story. So Halloween, and we lived in Vancouver before, my husband and I. And my little girl, and it was Halloween, let's go trick-or-treating. I thought, okay. And so my girlfriend and I said, let's go together, let's get dressed up. I said, okay. So I dressed up as a hobo, and I put like cocoa on my face, and, I looked, the pillow in the overalls. And, and she didn't dress up. And I thought, well, that's no fun. So we go door to door, with the kids. And she would go to the door and say, I'm your Mary Kay rep. She isn't. Who are you going to buy from? That's what she would do. She would dress up. She looked like this perfectly made up Mary Kay person. And I thought,
oh my gosh.
How far are you going to stoop? Even on Halloween.
That's low on Halloween of all times.
Well, as we're ending this interview here, you've been a joy. You've just, you just put it back to some basics. Something has to be simple and everything else. So, so this is the Ultimate Health Summit, Live Life Well. What are some final words that you want to leave with our listeners about, I guess, living life well?
Yeah, I would just say to people that, as you listen to this summit and all the amazing speakers that are here, you're going to get so much incredible knowledge when you have this many experts in the room. So I would say to just take one thing from the interviews that you hear that you want to take and implement into your life right now. Because sometimes people think that they have to do everything right away. And that's the fastest way to crash and burn.
Yes.
So I think just listen with open ears. Take one thing that you want to do from each one of these interviews. And if you make those baby steps along the way, you'll look up in a few months and a year's time and you'll be like, whoa, my life is totally different. I feel totally different. I feel amazing. So I just want to leave that with the listeners that are watching.
Beautiful. Beautifully said. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I also want to say that if people are inspired, and who wouldn't be, to go further with Erica, her products and services, you're offering the Essential Oil Beauty School. Could you take a few minutes, Erica, to go over that with our viewers?
For sure. The Essential Oil Beauty School is my baby. I love this program because I created it for women to be able to know how to just create a wonderful skincare regimen for themselves from A to Z using natural and organic strategies. So we're talking about how to integrate essential oils into your routine, but we're also talking about lifestyle factors, a lot like what we did here today on this interview, that can really add a ton of value to you as you're trying to just create that skincare regimen that's going to get the results that you really want to see. So there's DIY recipes in there. There's videos in there. Yeah, there's different recipes, so much great content that can really help you to transition into natural and organic beauty. So that's available to the listeners today.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Fantastic product. Yeah.
I mean, we've already gotten such wonderful tidbits from you with the frankincense and the patchouli and the lemon water. We're good. We're good. Thank you so much for your offer, Erica.
Well, we're honored that you have joined us. It's just immensely. We've enjoyed that just the energy from you, and and life can be simple, So I think you've given us some great basics to, look good. It doesn't have to be that extravagant, right? We thank you so much for joining us. I'll thoroughly enjoy it.
Thank you very much for sharing all this information. And we want to give big hugs as well to all of you that joined us today. Until next time, live life well.
Thank you very much, everybody. Bye.